want you to give me your attention for the next few moments of something that came to my attention very, very recently. I had a friend that sent me a text message. I was in a meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book. And so here's what he was sharing with me. We discussed a little bit. What are these things that are appearing? Steven Spielberg is about to do a movie, and he's basing it on some of what I've been told, the information that he's come across, that he's had research presented to him. So it's like a sci-fi movie, but it's not a sci-fi movie. Now, I want to say this. I want you to listen to me very carefully what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is going to be a little bit controversial, but my son wants him and I. Now, my son's way out there. I'm letting you know up front. He's got some theories, and it's like, Jonathan, where did you come up with that? And he's a researcher. He's wide open on a lot of things that most people would not even be aware of, or some people wouldn't be interested in, but others are definitely interested in. Okay, first of all, we read this in the Bible. By faith, we understand that the worlds were created and framed by the Word of God. Now, the worlds there would be the planets, the earth. And remember this, that in the second heaven, first heaven is, when you have the earth, you have the first heaven, which is the clouds in the atmosphere, 60 miles up. But when you get past that into the darkness of the heaven, into the cosmos, let's say it that way, you have the sun, moon, and stars, you have the nebulas, you have the constellations, you have the galaxies, you have the Milky Way. I mean, the Milky Way is not just, we're just a pinpoint of what stretches out there. And they say that creation continues to expand. Well, that's because when God said, let there be light, it continues to create. I have no problem with the expanding universe theory because God never took back his word. God said, let there be, and boom, it continues to create. So that's another subject in itself. But there are stories out there, and some of them I'm not going to tell because I don't want to get caught up with people taking what I say and trying to edit it and clip it and make it say things I didn't. This is the kind of stuff I would teach at one of my conferences more than I would on a YouTube channel, or definitely more than I would on social media, because people read into what you say, they add to what you say, they take away from what you say, they make you say things you didn't say, then they create some kind of AI that definitely was not you. But here's what I want to tell you. According to the men who were present, who have the information, they said to these pastors, you're going to have two responses more than likely when all this information is eventually released. Now, I don't know what the total information is. I know a little bit about what it's about, but apparently whatever this is very serious. And number one, you're going to have people who are going to say, if there are galaxies and there are allegedly other creations in the galaxies, then the whole creation story is a myth. And you're going to have people that's going to apostatize and turn from the Christian faith because they have no answer for what they're about to hear. Then they said the opposite will be. There will be a group of people who are not followers of Christ, are not followers of the Bible, and they're going to freak out, and they're going to come to pastors, ministers, and teachers and say, what is this? Is this really real? Now, my son thinks that a lot of this is going to be government fabrications to eventually, over time, explain away disappearances. Now, you know, this is not a movie. There's like 11 scientists that all have one thing in common. I'll let you research this, that have disappeared. They've just disappeared. What's happened to them? Have they all decided to go in hiding? Have they all decided to go into some underground government bunker? Nobody knows what's happened to them. They've just up and disappeared. You see this right here? He believes that this idea of people disappearing, they're setting it up so that when the return of the Lord takes place and people disappear, here's how they're going to explain it away. Alien invasion. Alien invasion. And the more I see that's happening the past, let's say a year, the past 12 months, it's very possible. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to hear more about this in the future. The government's going to start releasing these papers, information, possibly some video clips. And it's going to cause two things. It's going to cause some people to lose their faith in God. And the Bible even says in the last days, there would be a falling away, apostasy, a revolt from the truth. There'd be people following teachers having itching ears. Some would depart the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits, doctrines of devils. This is going to happen. So this is going to take place. It's going to cause people to apostatize and turn. However, it's going to cause other people to question what is going on. What is this about? Are these demons? Is this a manifestation of the fallen angels that came down to the daughters of men in Noah's day? And is it being repeated in another form without the creation of the Anakim, the Rephaim and all that kind of thing? And by the way, that's something else. That's something else that I taught in the 1980s. When the sons of God came to the daughters of men, oh my goodness, I turn on YouTube, the Anunnaki, the ancient Sumerians, the Anunnaki, the giants, everybody's teaching this. You know what? I'm not angry at all. I think it's funny because I remember when people thought I was a nut. They said, here's Stone, he's a little bit of a heresy, he's preaching strange stuff. So I feel better. I feel better that I'm not the nut anymore. I'm sorry. You just have to know what I've been through, and you have to know what we've been teaching for 40 years to appreciate what I'm trying to say to you right now. My goodness. So anyway, I wanted to bring you this update and just tell you, don't be deceived by things that's happening. And when all this is released, I will come back with answers to this. There was a Luciferian kingdom before Adam was ever created on the earth. That's all I'm going to say, because now you can take that and research it. But I believe that. I've believed that for many years. Finis Dake, who I had his Bible when I was 16 years of age and still have the Dake's Bible, one of the great study Bibles, he believed in the pre-Adamic world, that there was a world before the creation of Adam. But I believe there was, but he made it a human world. It was an angelic world. That's the difference I have with that. And I don't have time to preach that or teach that, but I've got all my research put away. When the time comes, we're going to do that. So that will explain a lot of what you're about to hear that goes back to the ancient time. I got to shut up.